So today we are looking at Skateland Adventure for Game Boy Color. Right away, there is a small detail that caught my attention, which is a typo in the subtitle where they mention funny play instead of funny playing here. Well, it's not a big deal, but it shows lack of polish on something very visible. No, if you look at the top of the page here, there is no trailer video. We only have a static image, even though there is already a gameplay video further down the page here. That video should clearly be placed at the top because this is the first thing people see, and it plays a huge role in conversion. At the moment, the campaign is sitting at around 6,500 euros here, out of 10,000 euros. And about 4 days with 110 backers. So overall, this is a strong start, and I do not think they will have any problem reaching their goal. So that's pretty cool. Now, one of the first structural issue is the lack of clear section. So there is no navigation menu here at the left, which usually appear when proper headings are used. This suggests that the campaign is not using structure title properly, and as a result, the page feels less organized than it could be. The campaign is actually quite good overall, but it is missing clear titles to separate the different parts. That alone would significantly improve readability and user experience. So let's look. We don't have any really big title or anything. Everything is mixed. So let's start. At the beginning, we start with the story and some visual, which is a good thing. There. Then we quickly get a short pitch explaining what Skateland Adventure is and what inspired the game. There. This is well done because it introduced the concept clearly. Right below, there is a link to test the demo here, which is excellent. This is something a lot of campaigns are missing, and having it so early is very strong point. Then we have the box art, which add like more visual appeal and help them make the campaign feel more alive. This is also a good addition. After that, we have a section where the creator explains the origin of the project. It's not too long, but it gives some background and helps build legitimacy. This is good, but it could be pushed further. We also get a sketch and early artwork, which is great. Showing behind-the-scene content is always a good, strong move because people like to see the process and feel closer to the project. That's cool. Then we move into artistic reference and character design, explanation and everything, which is also interesting. It helps us, understand the creative direction and introduce the characters in a natural way. Here we meet Slimestone, and we have Tony Turbo, the turtle on skateboard. This is a good way to introduce personality into the campaign. It's really good. However, there is something missing here. The creator have worked on previous Game Boy Color title, like Hermano and Metal Miracle from the Pat Morita team, which is really successful game, really cool. This is important information, but it is clearly not highlighted early in the campaign. This kind of credibility should be shown much earlier and much more clearly, ideally in the dedicated, team section with photos and short bio. Here we also learn that the demo includes 8 levels from different worlds, and that the full game will have 7 worlds with 4 levels each. This is good information, but again, it could have been placed higher on the page with the first demo link, for example, here, just to add more detail on the demo. Later on, we get a gameplay video, which is very strong element. It they allow people to understand how the game works without playing the demo, and it shows that the game looks fun and polished. This is definitely a strong part of the campaign. That's pretty cool. We also get preview of the different world, which help project the player into the game. This is a good way to build imagination and interest. Then we have the tropical beach, the coastal village, toy house, Candyland, night jungle, South Pole, sci-fi case. That's pretty cool. Then we see another video showing the game running on a real hardware, which is excellent. Well, it's not a Game Boy Color, it's a retro, it's a retro pixel, which is the brand of Uniplaying, but it's an FPGA. It behave like a Game Boy Color. I'm a bit picky, but it's good. There is no problem, and we can see the demo working. That's a really good point. It's adding a lot of credibility. However, there is a major issue here. We never clearly understand what the gameplay actually is. We see the game, but we do not get a clear explanation of the core loop. What is the objective? Are you trying to finish levels, collect item, maximize score, perform tricks because the snake can do some tricks with the skateboard. We don't really know. We can see that we can collect stuff, and there are hints, but nothing is explicitly explained. This is a big missed opportunity because explaining the gameplay clearly would help convert more backers. Now moving on another section, we have a paragraph about the challenge of developing retro games and the craftsmanship involved. This is good because it highlights the difficulty and justifies the need for support. It's developing for old consoles. It's not easy. There is a lot of constraint, so that's a good point to add that here. We also learn that the goal of the campaign is to complete the full game with 28 levels, polish everything, and produce physical cartridge. So that's good. There's just a small wording issue where they say 20 new level. Which could be slightly confusing here, because since everything is technically new, already. Well, it's a minor detail, but wording matter. Now let's talk about the stretch goal. The first one is simply funding the base game, which includes 7 worlds and 28 levels, sorry. And the second one is 13,000 euro. We get an additional world with 4 new levels plus a new music, which is great because it adds real content. The other one is 18,000 euros. We get a bonus stage with mini games, which also add values. That a lot of stuff here. That's pretty cool. But then when we reach the 30,000 euros stretch goal, I think there are things that become a bit confusing over here. They announce a completely separate game for Master System or Game Gear, which will require an additional year of development, and will be detailed in another campaign. So essentially, they are introducing a new project inside this campaign, which might also require additional funds later. To me, this creates a bit of confusion and raises questions about how this will actually work for backers. And if they get, to 30,000 euros, it's likely 12,000 euros for this new game, plus a dedicated Kickstarter, so they will raise money twice, I guess. This is, my only concern. It's not really a concern, it's a bit weird. I think they have take the opportunity to talk about it right now and, to build a little bit of hype about the Master System Game Gear version. That's a way, but So now let's talk about the rewards. Let's go on the reward tab. There are 6 tiers, which is good. It's not too much. It stays simple, you know. The digital reward at €10 is fine. Then we have standard and collector edition with early bird, this one and this one. It's interestingly, the collector edition is selling better than the standard edition, which is a very good sign. 54 left, and the standard it's 31 for the same numbers. It showed that people are willing to spend more for premium version. There are also add-ons over here, like t-shirt and additional copies, which is good for increasing average pledge value. However, there are some issues with naming consistency. Some rewards are, called standard edition over here. Other Skateland collector edition here, and other Skateland Adventure collector edition, which is the name of the game, Skateland Adventure. Well, the naming is not consistent and can be confusing, especially if it's shortened like that. At first, I think it was like Advance, and it was a bit confusing. Like, is that a better version or whatever? Or maybe I'm just stupid. Everything should follow the same structure to avoid any ambiguity, really. The Super Limited Collector Edition is interesting, but there are inconsistency in the description. For example, it mentioned limits that do not match the actual quantities, here 30 and here 50, which suggests that the text was not fully updated. This kind of detail should be fixed because it affects trust. Not that much in their case, but just like polish and make everything clean. Another point is the credits. Only the highest tiers allow backers to have their name in the game end manual. Those two ones. I think this could be expanded to more tiers because it's a strong emotional reward, and it might be cool to have some part of it in the collector or the standard or just the collector. Now, looking at the updates, there are only 3 updates so far. One before the launch here. One correction for this one. They have made a little mistake on the writing and stuff, so they have correct stuff, so it's pretty cool. And one for the launch of the campaign. At this stage of the campaign, it would be a good moment to post another update to thank backer and maintain momentum. There are roughly 60% of the goal, so I think it's time to thank people. Finally, if we look at the marketing side, there does not seem to be a lot of promotion outside of the Kickstarter page and a few YouTube videos. There were some Instagram posts months ago, then a gap of a few months, and then a few posts shortly before the launch, like in April, I think, early April. This is clearly not enough, and this likely explains why the campaign did not reach its goal on day one. Even though it's doing well overall. So in the end, this is a good campaign with a solid project, but it's not fully optimized. It lacks structure, clarity in some areas, stronger gameplay explanation, and more consistent communication and marketing. And if you are building your own campaign, this is something to remember. A good project is not enough. You need clarity, structure, and visibility. So if you are planning your own campaign and you want to avoid these mistakes, I'm helping game developers optimize their Kickstarter campaigns. You can check it out on crowdfunding.ninja, and feel free to reach out if you want feedback on your project. And if you enjoy this breakdown, do not forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I will be posting more campaigns like this in the future. Bye-bye.